Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon STRONG.
Yep.
Good morning.
Yeah, you got your Raptors colors on, huh?
Yeah, all I want to talk about is how happy I am that you backed out of the bet that you offered me yesterday, because I would have won that bet, but it would have forced me to root for that guy, number 2, as he limped through another game.
Don't worry.
God, it would have killed me. I wouldn't have even held you accountable for losing.
Oh, yes,
that.
you would have.
No,
Yes,
I
you would
wouldn't
have.
have.
Well, Nick, your other God.
Breakfast of Champions.
We've heard it before. We're going to get to that. But on today's show, we got a lot more to talk about. Is there a chance Kevin Durant could stay in Golden State? And why is Big Ben continuing his apology tour? He's been busy, guys. But we are going to start with the Raptors. They dominated the Bucks last night to even the series 2-2. Kawhi Leonard only scored 19 points, his lowest total in over a month. And he was hobbling throughout the game, as Skip mentioned. But Toronto didn't need him to carry the load. Kyle Lowry led the way with 25 points. And the bench trio of Serge Ibaka, Fred VanVleet, and Norman Powell combined for 48 more, outscoring the Bucks bench by 25. The series now heads back to Milwaukee for Game 5 tomorrow night. So, Shannon, what was the biggest reason for the Raptors' win?
The supporting cast showed up. You mentioned Norman Powell, Serge Ibaka, and Van Vliet. 3 guys scored 48 points off the bench, Skip. Everybody was aggressive last night. You look at Kyle Lowry, he had 25 points on 11 shots, which tells you he's very aggressive. He's getting to the free throw line. He was perfect from the free throw line. You got Marc Gasol chipped in, gave you 17. Kawhi, and Skip, those guys needed to be aggressive because Kawhi was struggling from the tip. There's no way he was going to be able to give you those virtuosos that he had been giving you so many times in the playoffs because of the 52 minutes, the other double overtime game.
That's why.
And he's pulling double duty.
Oh.
Yeah, he got 2 jobs. Yeah, he got to give you 30 a night, and he got to keep you.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I know you did. And he has to keep Giannis from getting 40 and 20, and it's taking its toll on him. So these guys were very aggressive. Skip, Norman Powell attempted 18 shots, 13 threes.
He's pretty good.
He was unbelievable last night. Gave him 18 points, hit some huge. Skip, I knew it was over when Van Vliet pulled up from about 29 and banked the 3 in that hit like 4 or 5 times, and then it carried.
You know what that rim is?
Oh, I was
it's
gonna
the
say.
magic rim. It's on that left end at
Reminded me
Toronto.
of
It reminded me of that. What was that shot that?
The shot heard around the world?
Yeah. The shot that bounced around the world. It bounced all around the world, and it fell in by accident.
Similar
Luckiest
there.
shot.
You still upset about that one, Skip?
Well, who
Look.
wouldn't be?
These guys needed to be aggressive. They needed to help Kawhi because Kawhi was struggling from the tip last night. And I don't believe he was going to be able to give you the type of performance offensively that he had given you throughout this series. The Raptors did another good job of keeping Giannis. They made it tough on him, Skip. Yeah, he got 25. What did he have, 25 and 10? But they made it tough on him. But you know, when Kawhi sit down, even with that bad, looked like his hamstrings or something are bothering.
Oh, now it's his hamstring.
Skip.
You never know.
A couple of things.
No, not his hamstring. I mean quad. No, I meant quad.
Oh, you meant quad. Oh, okay. I thought we were doing another mysterious injury.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But even with that,
He's got that thigh bruise going. I don't know.
I say it's his quad.
Okay.
Tendinosis.
Tendinosis.
Yes.
Is
Still?
going on. Okay.
Even with the injury, and he seemed to be laboring, his body is failing him. He still was able to do a very outstanding job on Giannis, and they did a great job of keeping him out. But, you know, Skip, I'm concerned with Kawhi's health. Look, this is what we know. We know the game's going to go 6 games. We know the series is going at least 6. The question is, played 34 minutes last night. What happens if those minutes have to tick up? He has to get into that 38, that 40 percentile, or they have an overtime game and they have to go mid-40s. That's concerning for me. But the bigger question is, Milwaukee says, you know what? We have home court. All we have to do is hold serve. We don't have to do anything else but win our home games, and we're going to the NBA Finals. The question is, can Toronto package what they got from those 3 guys, Ibaka, Van Vliet, and Norman Powell? Can they package that and take it to Milwaukee? We'll find out.
We will. So are you amending your prediction of Bucks in 6?
Nope.
You're sticking with it. So that means they're going to come back and win Game 6, right?
Because I believe Kawhi, Skip, I don't know. Kawhi did a little good last night. You know it too now, Skip. You be fair. Be honest with me.
I'm going to be so honest. You have no idea how I'm about to unleash some real, raw honesty right here, right now. But the first point I'm going to make very strongly is I have been telling you from the start, Toronto's supporting cast is better than Milwaukee's. You even went so far, I think it was on yesterday's show, to say Milwaukee has the best supporting cast in basketball. Ben Kendrick Perkins called you on it and said, well, what about Golden State? And you said, well, they're kind of in another league. But you still believe Milwaukee has the second best supporting cast. It's not as good as Toronto's, and they showed you again last night, albeit at home, that they have whole lots of help for number 2.
Yeah.
Because it was help from all angles last night, and you detailed most of it. But when Kyle Lowry, a 5-time All-Star, he's had a 30-point game in this series. He gives you 25, and he made 10 out of 10 free throws last night. That'll work. Norman Powell, I've always liked. I've talked about him on the show before. He gives you 18 and gave you 4 threes last night. I know he took a lot of shots, but still, I don't mind him taking shots because, yeah, he's not afraid of this stage. Ibaka, finally, he'll come and he'll go. He'll disappear, but when he gives you 17 and 13, you got a chance.
You can live with it.
And Gasol gave you 17 more and a team-leading 7 assists, and he's kind of turning into their point center because a lot of the actions they run off him.
Correct.
And then Van Vliet, you've been all over him, and you know what? He had his second child, they said, the day before, and he got it out of the system, you know, where he made peace with all that, and then he came back, heaved a big sigh of relief last night and said, okay, now I can play. And he gives you 13 and 6, and he actually brought the game home in the fourth quarter. He was actually the closer with 7 points. But here we go again with number 2. And you just said you're concerned about his health. Concerned about his health. I was concerned about his health for 7 long, nightmarish years in San Antonio. This is San Antonio all over again, and I had to watch my worst nightmare right before my eyes last night because here we went again with, obviously, Toronto's medical staff, a la San Antonio's medical staff, could find nothing wrong enough with him to even put him on the injury report before the game. Not listed. That guy on the injury report. And then what happened? Right away, he's limping and gimping and wincing.
Say he's faking. You say he's faking.
I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I do. I think he's exaggerating because they found nothing wrong with him. His coach said nothing was wrong with him. His coach actually gave him after the game, he's been tired. Some of the Raptors said he's been hobbled. Well, then help me out. You know what the clincher to all this was on faking, if we want to go all the way to faking? What happened with 7:23 left in the basketball game last night? No, what happened was Nick Nurse put number 2 back in the game. Guess what the score was at that point? They were up 16 points. It's a blowout, and he puts him back in the game. Why would he put him back in the game if he's hurt? You're concerned about his health. What if he's tired? Charles Barkley said at halftime, he's just out of gas. I'm saying it's the conference finals. You can't be out of gas at this stage of this basketball season where you got a chance, as he said after the game, to do something historical for your new Toronto Raptors, right? Why would you put him back in the game if he's hurt and out of gas? Why? Because he's not. Nick Nurse is telling you he's not hurt and he's not out of gas. I'm putting his butt back in the game. Thank you very much.
Can I answer the question?
Period. End of story. You can talk all you want, but the conversation just ended with that move right there. Thank you.
Let me tell you why they put him back in the ball game.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Portland had a 17-point lead, an 18-point lead, and a 17-point lead. Do you believe a 16-point lead is safe?
Were they playing Golden State last night?
Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Golden State had a 31-point lead.
Well, you can have all that, but still, if your guy is hurt or if he's just flat, his tank has run dry, then you're not going to put him back in the game. You're just going to hope that all of your supporting cast, which has risen and shown last night, can get you home.
Right.
Okay.
And the thing, but here's the thing, Skip. You look at his shots. He took 13. Marc Gasol took 11. Kyle Lowry took 11. Ibaka took 12. Powell took 18. That's saying something. When a guy is normally taking 26, we've seen him take 39, 38, and all of a sudden he goes from taking that volume of shots to all the way down to this, and you think nothing's wrong?
Because they all knew they were going to have to carry him last night, and they did, right before your very eyes.
Right.
And then what happened right on schedule? all of a sudden the TNT commentators, I know you don't listen to the sound, but they just leap aboard the poor number 2 bandwagon and, oh, he has no explosion. He has no lift. And I keep seeing explosion, and I keep seeing lift, and I keep seeing wincing, and I keep seeing limping. And I'm saying, how is that possible? Twice Gasol gave him the little nod on backdoor cuts, and he just explodes to the basket and slams it. And I'm saying, that looks pretty good to me. That doesn't look concerned with health.
I mean, he
to
can
me.
summons it from time to time.
Oh, from
but
time
he don't
to
have
time.
the normal game.
Oh, I see. Okay, so every once in a while he just sucks it up and makes miracles happen, right?
It's no miracle.
It's just, look, I'm going to tell you what happened. I suffered with this for 7 years, and I saw what happened because he always had something. It was his elbow, it was his shoulder, it was his knee, it was his thigh, it was his ankle, it was his foot, it was his hand. It was always mysterious, and it was always listed as some quirky, mysterious, vague something on the injury report because they never knew exactly what it was.
Skip, he's a little banged up all the time.
He's always a little banged up. So here's the truth of what happened 2 years ago in San Antonio. The God's truth of what happened was it was the first time in his life that a coach like Greg Popovich had handed him the reins to the whole basketball team because the year before they had tried to make it LaMarcus Aldridge's team and it did not work. So all of a sudden, Greg Popovich said, you know what? It's time. We got an aging Ginobili and an aging Tony Parker, and obviously Tim Duncan was retired, and they handed the reins to the team, the leadership to him. And he took it and he hid with it because
he did
not even try to play. He played 9 games with it. He crumbled under the pressure to be the alpha in